guys, and welcome to my next top 10 video in honor of Downton ending Sunday tomorrow for me. Some of you have already seen all of it, but for us in America, it's ending tomorrow. I really wanted to do a top 10 Downton Abbey, the biggest moments that have happened in the show, and all that I've learned is that it was like nearly impossible to narrow it down to 10 moments. So if your favorite moment isn't on the list, I'm sure it was, and for some reason it got cut for some listen, there were too many. I want to put this out there. One moment that did not make the list that literally made me cry for like hours and hours after was when Isis died. Oh my god, I can't even like think about that. I'm a dog person. It was when it aired, it was like close to when my like family dog died, and I just, yeah. So just so you know, that's an honorable mention on this list. All right, let's get started. Number 10 on this list is O'Brien and the soap at the end of season 1, where she basically causes Cora to have a miscarriage because she thinks Cora is replacing her as her lady's maid, but she's like not, and it could have been the heir to Downton. And oh my god, I remember, honestly I almost forgot about this moment where I like went back and started like watching it all the way through. It was insane. Like, what horrible thing to do. And ever up like past that point, I feel like O'Brien kept like trying to make up for like doing that to her in season 1, you know, because it was very ill-advised. And I just think that what a crazy like way to kind of like end off the season. We kind of knew that Thomas and O'Brien were not really good news throughout season 1, but damn. Number 9 is the scandal of all scandals in Downton Abbey. What's the biggest scandal in Downton Abbey? Absolutely Mr. Pamuk's death. That was like the first time that I was like, what am I watching? This is crazy. It happens in like episode, like one of the first few episodes in Downton, and he just shows up, Mary's bedroom, scandalous, already scandalous, and then just dies on her bed. First of all, how rude. I mean, now she's got real problems because now she needs to get a dead guy out of her bedroom. You know, and just like Anna and Cora coming in and carrying the body, and like it's just so insane and crazy that that even happened. Like, and it kind of haunted her character for quite a long time. She was, you know, trying to like put the Mr. Pamuk scandal behind her, but man, I mean, that just goes down in history as one of the most, I feel like, legendary scandals of Downton Abbey. Number 8 on the list is one that just happened, and maybe I'm a little biased because if you've been watching my reactions to Downton, you guys know that Thomas is my favorite. So number 8 is Thomas's suicide attempt. I was not happy. You can go back to the reaction and see me screaming and crying on the couch. He didn't die, so if he did, it would have been higher on the list, like for sure, because he just, oh my god. I'm very happy that he didn't die, and I'm hoping that he has a happily ever after in the last episode. I'm not, you know, that hopeful, but, you know, let's hope. But throughout the whole season, it's kind of the tragedy of his character that, you know, he caused a lot of havoc, he caused a lot of pain, he caused a lot of things to people. I could make a case on his behalf, but for the most part, he was not a very pleasant individual, and eventually karma just got him. You know, eventually people didn't really want to be really close to him. I kind of wished we saw a little bit more from, like, Baxter and Anna this season towards Barrow to kind of, you know, pull him out of this depression. But how would they know? And it was just, though it was an expected moment because I was waiting for him to try to end his life, it was still pretty shocking and pretty horrifying when it happened. Number 7 on this list is a happy moment. Who knew? I think it might be the only happy moment on the list, and that is when Carson proposes to Hughes. I remember when me and my husband first watched this, I mean, we treated it like it was like a football game. We cheered so loud once we, like, figured out that, like, Carson was proposing to Hughes. It was insane. I love the two of them. The two of them, like, deserve all of the happiness in the world with all of the stuff that they've endured and, you know, really excelling at serving other people and making their whole lives is making other people's lives better. And it was just such a sweet and tender moment and kind of outshined a lot of the other couples in that Christmas special for sure. Number 6 is Lady Edith getting left at the altar. I mean, the girl can't catch a break. Now, don't get me wrong, I always felt that Edith was a little frustrating to watch in the first few seasons, but I don't think it was really her fault. I think it was just, a middle child syndrome, and, Sybil kind of knew what she was doing, and Mary kind of knew what she was doing, and Edith was kind of just stuck in the middle. So she really, clung on to Sir Strachan as much as she could to give herself some sort of sense of meaning in this world. And what does he do? He leaves her. He leaves her at the altar. And though in retrospect, it is totally the right decision on his part, he really kind of, she would have been kind of throwing her life away. The whole thing made sense, but it doesn't mean it wasn't so traumatic to watch this poor girl get, like, publicly humiliated like that. And I think the picture that I'm going to use right here is going to be the moment after that. Kind of, this moment is a conjoined moment where Cora talks to Lady Edith after it happens, and it's such a good mother moment where it's like she kind of holds her and she's like, God is testing you and you're going to be stronger after all of this. And it was just really, the whole sequence was heartbreaking, but just really, I just felt that moment with Cora really, like, drove it home for me for being one of the best moments of Downton Abbey. Moment number 5 is also from this last season that I've been watching recently. It's where I, like, screamed like a crazy person, where Robert's ulcer burst in the middle of dinner. Now, the dinners at Downton are some of the best, like, entertainment ever. There's always some going on and crazy stuff happens all the time, but not really ever does, someone get up and then blood starts spewing out of their face. It's just, like, insanely graphic for this show and amazingly well done. I do like Downton, though this is technically a video about Downton's biggest moments. Downton, in my opinion, doesn't really need the big shocker moments because the writing is just so rich throughout and you just care about the characters. But when they hit you with that shocking moment, it really hits you. Like, I was, like, blown away. And it really has more of an impact on a show like this than maybe other shows that rely on their shocking moments. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but just, like, it's kind of their niche to, have shocking moments. And but in Downton, man, it'll just floor you every time. Number 4, probably wouldn't have been this high on the list if I didn't go back and rewatch the episodes. Honestly, it's William's death, and I guess also his marriage before his death. That scene is so sad. I mean, I always remembered it was sad, but maybe it's just been a little bit of time since I watched season 2. But I was rewatching it and crying my eyes out. It is so ridiculously... It's sad on all accounts. We're watching this guy get his dying wish by, you know, marrying Daisy, and everybody else feels so insanely bad for Daisy because, I mean, let's be honest, she really didn't want to marry William in the first place, and everybody's just looking at her like, well, are you gonna deny this man his dying wish who served his country, and this young man who's just and it's horrible, and then the wedding happens, and everybody's crying, and everything's sad, and then he died. Oh my God, Downton. I mean, you really do know how to take our hearts out and just shove them in the blender, don't you? Number 3 is kind of one of the moments that was the worst to watch, at least for me, and that is Anna's rape. This whole storyline, you know, it earned her a Golden Globe, well-deserved and amazing. And to me, weirdly, though it was very traumatic, was kind of the saving grace of season 4 to me, because season 4 lost a lot. I feel like the previous 2 seasons had a lot going on, and season 4 kind of fell a little flat when it came to, you know, bigger moments, or just they were trying to find their footing after losing a few characters. Stay tuned for those things. But, you know, Anna's rape was so traumatic to watch, in my opinion. And the fact that she didn't want to, you know, accuse Green or anything like that because of Bates, because of how much she loved Bates, it was really heartwarming and really heartbreaking, I guess, at the same time. And, you know, Downton does that really well, the whole bittersweet feeling. And eventually Bates finds out what happens, and eventually, I gotta say, really close to one of the top moments on this list was when Bates, like, finds out it was Green. You know, when they're all sitting at that dinner table. The look that Bates gives, I was scared. Like, and I'm not, you know, in the show. I know it's a fictional show, and I was, like, terrified that Bates was gonna come and kill my whole family. I mean, that is quite a moment. But, anyway, the whole storyline was really, I felt like a good depiction of the emotional turmoil you go through when something traumatic like that happens to you. I'm pretty sure you can guess the number 2 and number 1 moment by this point. You know, season 3 of Downton Abbey hit us with a 1-2 punch that we really couldn't recover from for quite a while. And this was the 2 punch in that 1-2 punch, and that is Matthew's death. Now, Matthew and Mary weren't really, you know, characters that I really connected with. I liked them as a couple, and trust me, I appreciate Matthew so much more after he died than like I did when he was alive, because these other guys just did not measure up at all. Not even the guy that she married. Like, I was like, that's the guy that replaces Matthew? Like, really? Honestly. But anyway, I think that scene was so shocking to a lot of it just happened out of nowhere. I mean, a lot of deaths on this show, I guess, happen out of nowhere, but I mean, that one really just, oh, I'm driving along, I have a new baby, everything's wonderful, dead. Oh my God, like, I couldn't believe it. And if you go back in my videos bit, you'll see I recorded kind of a sneaky reaction for when I showed Downton to my husband for the first time, of how he was going to react to Matthew's death. In retrospect, it was the wrong reaction to get, but whatever. And number one, why I said it was the wrong reaction to get for Matthew is that my husband was insanely not happy when Sybil died, as was I. Sybil was my favorite. She was my favorite daughter by far. Her and Tom were a love story that I could get invested in, and she was just such a strong woman. You know, the war starts, she becomes a nurse and helps everybody out, and she's just such a beautiful soul. And to watch her die so horribly with everyone around her just being helpless. The entire storyline of Sybil's death is just one of the more heartbreaking things I've ever seen on TV. I swear. It's the fact that Dr. Clarkson could have saved her, but, you know, they refused to listen to him because there was somebody more qualified. And the whole thing with Cora and Robert after the fact was horrible. The death scene was, it's really hard to get through without crying, for me. I mean, you can let me know in the comments how you feel about it, but it's so hard to get through without crying. And then, you know, even, it just keeps going. You know, when they go downstairs to tell, and Carson tells everybody that Lady Sybil just died, and you know, I'm biased because my two favorite characters are Sybil and Thomas. When Thomas gets emotional, that, oh no, I can't do it. It's so sad. This may not be the moment that tops the list for you. It's definitely the moment that tops the list for me. Let me know, guys, what you thought was the biggest moment of Downton Abbey. Did it make the list? Did it not? Trust me, I tried my best to include everything, but, you know, there were a ton of moments to choose from. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I can't wait to see the final episode. Hopefully, Edith will finally get some happiness, and the same with Thomas. So, thank you guys for watching. Love you guys so much. Bye!